In this video, I'll show you how to manage monographic series and WorldShare acquisitions. This workflow is an alternative to the standing orders workflow that is currently still an option in WMS acquisitions. The new monographic series functionality differs in that it allows you to encumber funds for the series and also allows you to track a monographic series as a subscription order that you can renew from year to year. In the monographic series workflow, you'll first need to order the monographic series in WMS acquisitions. So you'll need to look for a record for the series. The order type will be a purchase order. The acquisitions type will be subscription, and the processing type will be monographic series. When you place the order for the series, you will be encumbering funds for all the volumes of the series in your subscription period. Next, when you receive a volume in the series, which will usually have a unique title, you'll search for a record for the specific volume and then add it to the monographic series. The acquisitions type for the volume will be one time, and the processing type will be monograph. The final step is to receive an invoice the volume. When you pay the invoice, the funds move from the encumbered amount for the series to the expended amount for the fund. So to show you how this works in WMS acquisitions, I'm going to place a new monographic series subscription order for the series Nursing Clinics of North America. So after logging on to WMS, I'm going to select acquisitions, and then I'm going to search for a bibliographic record for the series. So I'm going to discover items. The data type is bibliographic records. I'm searching all WorldCat. And then I'm going to open up my drop-down index and select the ISSN index. And I'll paste my ISSN for the series and click on search. Looks like I have a results screen of 28 records, so I'm going to use the facets on the left to refine my search. So I'm going to select English for the language of cataloging record. Now I have just 9 results. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of my page to look at some of the other records. And I can see the record right here in the middle of my screen is a full level record. So I would choose this record. Might want to open it and view it before choosing it. But when I decide this is the record to use, I'm going to click on the drop down that says Add To, and then I'm going to add this to an order. Then on the Add Item to Order screen, I'm going to review the acquisitions type, which is subscription. The processing type, I'm going to need to change to the new processing type monographic series. I'll select my ISSN from the drop-down next. And then for my subscription period, I'm going to enter a start date. You can either type a date in or you can use the calendar widget. I'm going to put the date in here of 1/1/2019 for the subscription period start date. And when I click outside of there, the system will automatically populate by default a 1-year subscription period. And so my end date is now populated with 12/31/2019, which is what I want. The next thing I'll need to do is create a new order. So on the Add New Order screen, I'm going to give my order a name. I'm just going to call it an abbreviated name of the series, the Nursing Clinic NA. For order type, I'll open the drop down and this is going to be a purchase order. For the vendor, I'm going to type the first couple letters and then I'm going to select Robinson's Books and More when it appears in the drop down, and then I'm going to click on Save to save my new purchase order. I'm going to scroll down now so I can see the bottom part of the screen, and there is the new purchase order that I created, Nursing Clinics NA. And then I'm going to click on Add in the Action column. And when I do that, you can see the items that I've added now has increased from 0 to 1. Next, I want to go to the order, so I can either click on the order number or the order name. That will take me to the order. And then again, I'm going to go to the lower part of my page so I can see my series title there. I'm going to select a fund. I'm going to use my book series fund here. I'm going to leave this set at the North Branch and North Stacks shelving location. Keep in mind that the locations that you use for the monographic series will be the same locations that will be applied for the volumes that you add to the series later. I'm going to add a unit price here of $1,000. This will be the amount that I want to encumber for my subscription period for the monographic series. And then when I click out of that, you can see now the total has appeared. The next thing I want to do is I just simply want to place my order. And I have the response from the system, you're about to place the order. I'm going to uncheck Notify Vendor. So let's say for my example, I've already placed the order on the vendor's website. I don't need to actually send it again, but I want to place it in WMS Acquisitions so that I can encumber funds. So when I click Place Order, I'll be encumbering funds of $1,000 for that series. And now you can see the status on the order has changed to placed. So now let's say I have received the first volume for my subscription period for this series, Nursing Clinics of North America. It has an individual title, it's Quality Improvement, and I have an ISBN. So I'm going to go back to WMS and we're going to search for a record for that volume. So again, over here under Discover Items, I'm going to select Bibliographic Records, searching all WorldCat, and I'll use the ISBN index, and I'll enter my ISBN and click on Search. Now I've received a results screen of just 4 records. So let's say I've reviewed the results and I've decided I'm going to choose the record right here at the top of the screen for my single monograph here. I'm going to click on the Add to drop down, and this time we're going to select Series because we're going to add it to the series we just ordered. And so on the Add to Monographic Series screen, the acquisitions type is one time and the processing type is monograph. And then I just need to add to the series, which I can find below. Here it is, Nursing Clinics of North America. So we click on it to select it, and then I'm going to click on Add to Series. So I now have the option, once I have added it to the series, to receive the item right away, or I can receive it later. I'm going to click on Receive Item Now, and this will take me to the Receive an Invoice screen. And so here is my volume ready for me to receive. Notice at the top of the screen, the PO number. The purchase order number 2020-3 is the number that the system assigned to the order for the series. And then the 1 is representing the order item. And then the second one there is actually representing this volume that I'm adding to this series. So rather than just receive, I'm going to receive and invoice. So I'm going to change the action here to receive an invoice at the same time. And then I'm going to click on New Invoice. I'm going to create a new invoice. So I'm going to add an invoice number, and then I'm going to add my vendor, select the vendor when it appears, and then I'm going to click on Save to save the invoice. Now you can see the invoices on the bottom right side of the screen. See the number there, 030520. So all I need to do now is enter a barcode. I can edit the classification and cutter if I want to, but otherwise I'm just going to enter my barcode and then hit enter. And I received the response, receiving an invoicing series item. You are receiving the item Quality Improvement in the series Nursing Clinics of North America. Available actions on the series, these are optional. And the actions that you can take are selecting all items for the subscription period have been received. This is only the first volume actually I've received, so I'm not going to select that. And then the second option is clear encumbrance and mark subscription as paid. And I don't want to clear the encumbrance yet as well because I've only received the 1 volume. So I'm going to click on receive an invoice with leaving them unchecked. And then I'm going to click on the items processed in this session down here, and we can see the title now appears below. There's also a link to the invoice, so I'm going to click on the invoice so we can go to the invoice, review it. I'm going to add a unit price for Quality Improvement. So I'm added $250. And you can see the total now for the invoice is $250. So when I pay this invoice, that will be the amount that will be expended from the encumbered amount encumbered amount that we had of $1,000 total. So I'm going to go ahead at the top and click on Pay. And I receive the response, you're about to pay the invoice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Yes to pay it. At the end of subscription period, you want to mark the series received when all the volumes for the subscription period have been received. Also, you'd want to clear the encumbrances and mark the subscription as paid. And then finally, renew the Monographic series subscription order through WMS Acquisitions. If you have additional questions, you can contact OCLC support by going to oc.lc/support. Thanks for watching.